streaming. Mics are live.
Welcome to NMH at 1, and in our interview a bit later in today's program, Yolanda Nel from Windhoek Express will speak to Lydia Dawid. Now she is with the Disability Council of Namibia, and she'll be sharing why it is so important that disabled people must also be able to access all the facilities we can. Now, first of all, let's start with the image. This is a press release that was issued today, and it shows a scene from the Kankuri village. Now, that is a sun village where they used money that they earned from trophy hunting to install new water facilities. It's not actually that picture, it's another one, but let's finish that one. That is Bank Windhoek, and last week they paid a visit to some of the water tanks that they installed in the Moses Garuep constituency here in Windhoek. Now in the Kankuri village, also the women and children there used to walk for 5 kilometers to get water. Previously, their water infrastructure was broken for about 10 years, and finally, thanks to income from trophy hunting, they have been able to fix this now. Also in other news today, it was announced that Dr. Andrew Nakundi is now the new acting Chancellor at NUST, the University of Science and Technology. A quick look at today's front pages. If you have not seen all the newspapers today, we're starting with NMH's 3 daily newspapers, and starting with the Namibian Sun, of course, an interesting front page there. There's a petition about public officials and people working in public positions that are accused of gender-based violence. And also the Sun today tells us that people are continuously being infected with hepatitis E as well as malaria, and people are dying from these diseases, still in stark contrast to COVID-19. The Algemene Zeitung today leads with the arrests here in Windhoek on Saturday at a party at the Funky Lab Club, where a concert was hosted. And the Republican leads with the planned court action by employers against government due to the forced decision that people may not be laid off in spite of there being no income. Now then, a further slide. Remember, in all the dailies in Namibia today, you can again get a little booklet for the children at home to do schoolwork. And it's again today grade 0 and grade 1, and that is your 4th booklet. The Namibian also leading today with bosses fighting the ban on job cuts, and a New Era in their lead article today focusing on the fact that doctors are dismissing that there are actually positive cases of COVID-19 in Namibia that are simply not being reported. Also the debate about abortion being touched on the Namibian's front page. Look quickly then at some of the stories inside newspapers today. In the Namibian Sun, an interesting article that due to the fact that people still don't have ID documents, this is disrupting the government's plan to help people who are experiencing poverty. And then also in the Algemene Zeitung on the inside, a story from Nampa actually, that in the Karas region they have now installed 13 of the planned 17 boreholes to assist with the distribution of water in that very dry region. From Republicans' inside pages, a very interesting story. A mother who was in South Africa, and she had twins there actually, and she's been now in South Africa for 3 weeks because she's unable to return to Namibia due to restrictions on travel because of COVID-19. New Era then on the inside pages, also a story about a large amount of illegal alcohol and cigarettes that was seized in the north, 280,000, that's the value, and the Namibian police also reported arrests today in various regions over the weekends, and that is people arrested on charges of not only selling drugs but also illicit goods like whiskey. Of course, there's still a ban on all alcohol in Namibia at the moment. Quickly taking a look at new data about COVID-19 in Namibia. Now this first slide just shows you the testing data as updated up to the 16th of May. That was Saturday. So we always in the media get these about 24 hours after these statistics have been confirmed. Still, of course, only the 16 positive cases in Namibia. That map at the moment just showing us the number of tests being done countrywide. And the problem at the moment is that swabs cannot be distributed to the regions, and therefore very low testing tally outside from Windhoek, for example, Swakop, Walvis Bay, etc. Then you will see there's still 16 positive cases, but the number of people tested has increased significantly. Now 2,234 negative results by Saturday already, but still 28 of those were pending. So our daily average for the last 17 days is now over 100 new people being tested every single day in Namibia. Second of all, then just looking at quarantine data, that is also up to 16 May in the various regions. You'll see there in total on Saturday, 23 new people were quarantined and 54 discharged. And the biggest number there being discharged in Khomas region, 28 people being able to go home. And still 81% our recovery rate on COVID-19. And now there's also a slide showing the poll. This is a poll we conducted last week on our daily newspaper site, and it was about employment. We asked people, are you getting, for example, your full pay still? 30% said yes, that's the case. 13% only said they had to take pay cuts, but the important line is the red one in there, with almost half of participants saying they haven't been retrenched, but they are receiving no income at the moment because of the corona pandemic. Now, this week you can take part in a brand new poll, and this week we're trying to gauge what type of assistance our readers has already received. So we're showing you the poll as it looks on the Namibian Sun today. And you will see there the question is, what COVID-19 assistance have you received? We're just waiting for the mirror image there to come up as well. Now, there are 5 different possible answers. First of all, you can say you have received the $750 emergency grant. That's a 2 now. Number 3, you've received a subsidy on your wage or salary. Number 4, I've received assistance from my bank. Other assistance, but at the moment everyone on Sun is saying they've received absolutely no assistance up to now. So please go to our websites and take part in this poll. We'll share the results, of course, during this week and next week with you. Now coming to some video inserts from our journalists in the regions. First of all, on Saturday, Adolf Kaure took some footage of the Swakopmund roadblock that is on the B2 road on the way to Windhoek, and he reported that actually there was no roadblock in place there. because it seems the decision was taken to only work with one roadblock in that region to monitor traffic, and that is on the C14 road. Now, NMH is involved with printing booklets for kids to do schoolwork at home. Of course, we don't know yet if schools will only open at the beginning of August. And our journalists from my zone visited the regions recently to check just are these booklets being received by schools. So they visited 3 different circuits. First of all, Eheke, up in the far north. They also visited Okahanya and Marintal. Let's take a look.
Through a very difficult time, a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges that we are experiencing. So yes, I think it's a very positive impact that it has on the learners, because they feel at the moment there is no school, but now they feel they are doing something educational. So it's positive for them.
All right, awesome. So thank you so much for joining me, ma'am. Thank you guys as well for staying tuned to MyZone's Facebook page and throughout our online school program. Yes, so that's it from me, Elizabeth, and from our teacher here. It's goodbye from us.
Bye.
Those ones are already counted. They're ready for the schools to pick. Yeah. Also, this one's like this is school did not to come. Also, those ones there. Some of these ones they just came yesterday in the afternoon.
My name is Laurencia Muduma. I am the Senior Education Officer for Junior Primary Okahanja Circuit. I have been responsible for receiving the booklets from NMH. These booklets are delivered on a daily basis, and we receive almost every day, sometimes 2 weeks combined, sometimes a week. So up to date, we have received up to week 3 of junior primary, that is grade 0 to 3, and we also received week 1 and 2 of science, mathematics and English for grade 4 to 7. The books, as they arrived in the circuit, we are sorting them according to the numbers as per the availability. Obviously, we did not get up to date enough for each school. I think our numbers are up to date, not known, but what we are getting, we are trying to give them close to the number as per the 15 school day statistics. So these books are delivered at the schools. Last week we went out, we started from Ovitoto, and we went through to Ochodondu, Eigcoms, Okamatapati, Okonjatu, Okaepe, and Okakarara, and Waterberg. So we are delivering the books at the schools. Principals, most of the time, are around to receive the books. They have content that is really easy for children to be able to even handle on their own, which is something I really like, because if parents are not literate enough, or they cannot read the English or the languages that are in the books, the children can still have these materials and use them on their own. So these are materials that are really well designed, as children can easily handle them on their own. So that is how we basically do the delivery and the sorting in our Okahanja circuit. And we are really very thankful to have these books. So we really like the books. Thank you very much, NMH.
We thank Justicia Shepena, Elizabeth Joseph, and Micheline Navatises for the content you just looked at. Now, if you are at a school and maybe your school is not getting these booklets that are being distributed by Namibia Media Holdings, please do the following. First, phone your regional directorate to inquire with them. What's supposed to happen is that the school that is managing the circuit in which your children are going to school are receiving these booklets, and then they must distribute it further to other schools. Now, as promised in our interview today, Yolanda Nel from Windhoek Express spoke to Lydia Dawid of the Disability Council of Namibia, and it's all about the inclusive treatment of those with disabilities.
The National Disability Council recently launched an accessibility standard manual. The standard manual focuses on auditing public facilities and as well as public buildings and infrastructure to ensure that they are accessible to persons with disability.
Okay, and why is that so important?
We noticed that most public facilities are then not accessible to persons with disability. This then provides a hindrance for persons with disability to be fully or to participate in society on an equal basis with others. As of other members or implementing partners present, we noticed that we needed to work closely with the Namibia Standard Institute for us to be able to then turn this standard manual into a guideline that can be used by engineers as well as architects when constructing public facilities and as well as construction of infrastructures.
So there's still a lot to learn,
yes,
with regards to what you do every day.
Yes, there's still a lot to learn. There's still a lot of areas to be explored in terms of accessibility. There's so many areas that we haven't looked at. And also from the workshop, we noticed that we as National Disability Council need to come up with a manual that will focus solely on accessibility to information and rather not integrate two manuals in one, whereby we look at the public accessibility of public facilities and together with the accessibility of information.
And then lastly, what is your hope for Namibia in terms of accessibility to all?
We are currently we are guided by we are hoping to reach the Agenda 2030, and that's what we are also hoping to successfully implement the Sustainable Development Goals. And for example, the Sustainable Development Goals would not really have been achieved by leaving other groups behind.
Yes.
These are groups such as, for example, the persons with disabilities, the marginalized groups. Look at women, children, people living in extreme poverty, elderly people. So for us to really come to a point whereby we can achieve full economic growth as a country, we have to ensure that no one is left behind, and we ensure that we promote an inclusive society.
That is NMH at 1 for today. Thank you for staying tuned, and we wish you a wonderful Monday. We're playing out as usual with info about top temperatures for today in key destinations in Namibia, as well when the sun will set this evening.